Okay, assignment 4A. Simplify the following four expressions, okay? Okay, we have number 1, example 1. Got 5x to the power of 3 with y to the power of 3 in the parentheses and a power of 4 outside times x to the 9th. Okay, so you're going to make your 3 lines. You have a factor, and everything's on top to start with. So you got a factor of 5, factor of x, a factor of y, and then another factor of x, so that means I'm going to have to add the exponents. So 5 is to the first, so 1 times 4 is 4. And as far as x, remember there's 2 of them. First we take 3 times 4, and that's 12. And then the other x is to the 9. And 9 plus 12 is 21. So x is to the 21st power. Okay, and then y, 3 times 4 is 12. Now none of those exponents are negative, so you just bring them straight over. Okay, 5 to the power of 4, you can simplify that. Okay, so 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. That's equal to 625, so this right here becomes 625, and then the variables just stay like theirs, times x to the 21st times y to the 12th. Okay, number 2. We have 9 over x to the second times 3x to the third over y to the fourth. Okay, now we extend that line so it goes across. So on top we have a factor of 9 times a factor of 3 times a factor of x. Now on the bottom we have a factor of x and a factor of y. Okay, so let's talk about 9. 9's to the first, so 1 times 2. If it's in parentheses, you got to multiply as 2. Okay, 3's to the first, 1 times 4 is 4. Now the x on top, 3 times 4 is 12. Now on the bottom, the x factors to the first, but that's still in the parentheses, so you got to take 1 times 2. Y is to the first, but that's in parentheses, so you got to take 1 times 4, that's 4. Now when you have bases on the bottom, you need to see if you can cross them out. Well, I have an x here. Do I have an x on top? I do, so I can delete that as long as I minus 2 from the 12, and that would be 10. Now I have a y on bottom, but do I have that on top? Nope, I don't, so that stays. Okay. All these powers are positive, so we bring everything straight over. 9 to the second times 3 to the fourth times 10 to the 10th, or x to the 10th, then y to the fourth is also brought straight over. Okay, now I need to simplify these two. 9 to the second means 9 times 9, that's 81. 3 to the fourth means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, and that's 81. And then the variables stay exactly where they are. And then finally, when we have these two numbers, I can times 81 by 81. Okay, which is 6,561. Okay, number 3. We have 3 over parentheses 4x to the negative second power. So on top I just have the factor of 3. On bottom I have a factor of 4 and a factor of x. So 3 I put a 1. That's not in the parentheses though, so I can write 1 down. 4 is to the 1 in parentheses, so 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. 1 times negative 2 on the x is negative 2. Now, this is my only positive, so I bring that straight over. Now these negative powers right here, you don't bring those straight over, you bring them up here. So now they can be positive powers. And when we bring them up there, instead of negative 2, we write positive 2. So if you have negative powers, you need to bring those to the other side of the line. Now I can simplify those two. 3 to the first is just 3. 4 to the second is 4 times 4, and that's 16. And that x stays exactly where it's at. But we got to times the 3 by the 16, which is 48. (48) times x to the second. Okay. Number 4. 2x to the negative third power. So we have a factor of 2 and a factor of x, both those to the 1 power. So 1 times negative 3 is negative 3, and then 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Now, we don't have any positive exponents, so we can't bring anything straight over. Those need to go to the other side. Move them down, and you can now write them as positive exponents. Okay, 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2, and that's 8. You put the 8 right where the 2 to the third was, and then x to the third. Now you need something on top, so that's something you put as a 1. Okay, 1 over 8 times x to the third. Okay, number 5. Directions now are simplify. Write each answer in scientific notation. So we have 4.3 times 10 to the 5th power times 3.2 times 10 to the negative third power. So it's all multiplication, okay? So I break this up. I take the 4.3 times the 3.2, and then I take the 10 to the 5th times the 10 to the negative third. Okay, that's how I'm going to do that. So 4.3 times 3.2 is 13.76. Now on the 10, you don't multiply these, you add on multiplication. You add the powers. 5 plus negative 3 is 2. So times 10 to the second. Now, how many digits do you have in front of the decimal? You have 2. You can only have 1. So I would move the decimal once to the left, which allows me then to add 1 to my power. So 1.376 times 10 to the third. Okay, number 6 is the same idea, but now it's a division. Okay, we have 7.2 times 10 to the 7th divided by 9 times 10 to the negative 4th. So now you split it up, but this time it's dividing. 7.2 divided by 9 and 10 to the 7th divided by 10 to the negative 4. So 7.2 divided by 9 is 0.8 times 10. Now, when we're dividing, we cross out the bottom and subtract that exponent from the top, but it's not minus 4, it's minus negative 4. So 7 minus negative 4 is 11, because it's like 7 plus 4. Now, you don't have any digits in front of the decimal. Remember, you need one digit, and it can't be a 0 in front of your decimal. So if we move it right this way, that's 8.0 times 10. But now I need to adjust the decimal. When I move it forward, that means I need to minus 1, okay? Moving it this way, I get to add. Moving it that way forward, I need to subtract. 11 minus 1 is 10. Okay, and then number 7. You start a lawn mowing business and make a $400 profit in the first year. Your profit increases by 5% per year. If you continue your business, what will your profit be after 10 years? So, down here I type money equals. So set up your units box, the two bold things I have in bold, dollars and years. Years is X, dollars is Y. So per, dollars per year. Okay, dollars per year is 5, but there, it's not a dollars per year, it's a percent per year. And it increases by 5%, so plus 5%. So since it's not $5 per year and it's percent, we don't draw a line. We write A times B to the X power equals Y. So A and Y stands for dollars, and the A also is dollars. B is the percent, and X is the years. So remember, these first and last are your dollars. Well, you started with 400, so A is 400, and Y we don't know. B is my percent, but you don't want to just do 5. You need to take 100% and add 5% to it. So that's 105%. So move the decimal twice backwards, and we have 1.05. And X is the years, and in the problem we have 10 years. So just put those all in. So we have 400 times 1.05 to the 10th power equals Y. Now to solve for Y, you just punch that into a calculator. If your phone calculator works a little bit different than mine, so I'm going to do it on a phone calculator. So I type in 400 times 1.05. To get it to the 10th power, you type this X to the Y to the 10th power and put 651 or 652.